when you're looking at how this energy all comes through into the lens, whether you want to call it light is the extent of it coming into it, or if you call it spirit, that's the extent of it itself.
Right.
Because it's still part of it to give us the ability to be. So it's the eye of the beholder, you know, it's an eye of the self. It is also beholder, the one that holds being, you know.
Okay.
And because we have a part of being, we're part of that self that is part of the self. We are a cell. Self. Cell is the containment, while self is the transference. But self has an F at the end, so it comes into a parameter to continue on. So think of it a waveform, you know, it can come down and then up and over. That's essentially F in a nutshell. F, when you say it, you go down, but then you finish up. So you're creating that type of motion, that type of waveform.
I mean, I guess it comes full circle when you speak into water, positive things, those vibrations coming from each letter and how your mouth moves. If you're saying positive versus negative stuff.
Exactly.
The whole water.
They're spells. It's how you actually create the motion that I've experienced through it.
You say, it's going outwards. But if you're saying you're pointing downwards and then going up, you just said. So one of these motions are negative and some are positive.
Okay, there's no difference in the symbols. It's how you use the symbols. But the symbols themselves have been constructed and utilized for a certain meaning and way because they are associated with how you do something. For example, if you try to create something, right, into a wave and then extend it through a being to a parameter, you're not really doing that because it's a positive negative sense. You're doing that because it's trying to describe what that is associated with in our reality. It's the symbols, even if you want to look at it by chance, or if you look at it by really good design, the divine design in everything comes through. So if we can understand that, we're linking something a lot broader to understand without the complexity. What I call natural philosophy, because nature is fractal, but fractal is nature. So, I mean, one has to speak for itself without speaking to the other.
Is it fractal-less nature?
Fractal is nature.
Oh, yes.
It is what it is. So when we understand it through a concept that we can use as tangible, reinvent the concept of it all, I can't believe I would be the only one who's arrived at this point, because this just seems so common sense once you reach to this level. And I think it has to do with the 33 too, because you need to reach yourself into that. And once you do it in a way, it comes down to the individual itself too, because some individuals, if you look at the field itself, how much of that is existing? If you can create more of a polarity in that in your astrological chart, that shows the equator, you can say, of the energy, you know? So that's the funnel of the eye. That's the pupil, you can say. This is reading an eye of the universe, and is astrology.
Different, a fingerprint. Everybody has their own unique eye. Structure, color.
Exactly.
If you were to look at it up close, no two people have the same. They may be similar in color, shape, or whatever, but it's all a fingerprint.
I mean, same with your hands.
So cool.
It can tell you so much.
I always thought, when I was younger, I always thought the color of your eye, not the black pupil, but
that's how it comes in.
Planet out there in the universe, and just comes through. I just think it's something about when I saw an up close picture of an eyeball for the first time, it made me think of planet, and immediately took me to space, and just
they're not too distant.
They're black holes, and then you see the color and the depth and all the different.
The galaxy itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's
is the light itself in that nature, right? Existing all interconnected is the nature of all of it coming together. We're all eyeballs, you know? Yeah. We're all technically the irises to the center.
The biblical angel with all the eyes. Why eyes? And I wonder if they ever talk about the color of eyes, if it's all different colors, which I think they would have. So are these just these pupils, eyes from olives? I don't know.
I think the color of our eyes comes from our ability to work with what our genetics are to express it. So when we're part of the material, we're an ancestry of genetics. We have a set that we've pulled from, just a flower has a set to pull from. Just its ability to create a fruit is going to be based off its pulled from, you know, even the blending of flowers. Yeah. You can get different colors if you blend the right flowers. Yeah. It's the same concept. So we have a percentage of how much we can pull from to generate into frequency, because it's been familiarized. It's been a part of us. It's been interconnected. It's been a part of the, you can say, memory of the genes, but that's why they store information, because they're a memory. They are interconnectedness of how we can embody parts that we're all interconnected, you know? If you can stamp back data, saying from a period, you can stamp back the form itself from breaking it in reverse, you know? The concept of how it built, how it came together. Look at the rings of a tree.
Yeah.
Same concept. The rings of a tree emit into the world. It's how much that plasma grows over time.